I'm making cheese. So I have just under 18 litres of milk in here. I've had it on the stove and I've brought it up to just over 80 degrees. I've got my sink full of hot tap water. Now my tap water comes out at about 90 degrees. So when I sit this pot in there, it will raise the temperature up to that 88, 90 degrees that I want for cheese making. This is my culture for my cheese. It's clabbered and my homemade Greek yogurt. I do just get a cup of this nice warm milk. Probably put 2 cups in there because I want this nice and smooth to add to my cheese pot. I don't want any big clunks in it. Just give that a bit of a stir. I have pre-stirred it when it was in there. Then I come over and I add it to my 18 litres of milk, and that'll bring it just over where I want it. Now I stir this for 30 seconds up to a minute, and then I start a timer and I culture it for 30 to 40 minutes. I use Mad Millie rennet tablets. They're just what I use. So I use 5 tablets. I drop them into tank water because you don't want chlorinated water. I've just given it a stir around and dissolved the tablets. My milk is sitting in the hot water in the sink. It is a degree over what I would like it, but it is a hot day. So I pour that in there, and then I'm going to give that a really good stir for about a minute. And then I will set the timer for 40 minutes, although sometimes with Millennials milk, which is the cow I'm milking at the moment, I have to leave it for up to 2 hours to set properly. Peanut, my last milking cow, who's dried off now, her milk would set in 30 minutes and make beautiful cheese. Millennials milk is a little different, and I have to be very careful with her milk and be patient. Okay, I'm back at the cheese. It's been 50 minutes. I just did a little test slice. So now I'm just going to cut my curds. I cut it one way and then I'll come back and cut it the other way. Then I will leave this for 20 minutes to let the curds heal. Then I'll come back in and I will gently massage them. I've gone one way, now I'm going to come back and I'm going to cut them acrossways. Okay. Now I'm going to come in here and I am gently going to get my arm in here and I'm going to start pulling some of these curds up. I am still going to be gentle and I am just going to chop them off so they're about 1 inch by 1 inch, 2 inches. And I just come in here and each one of these long ones I'm just going to break up a little bit. And I'll go in until I've got the whole pot done. I'm still being gentle with it because there's a lot of whey in it still. So I have been here for about 10 or 15 minutes. Now that's about the size that I have broken them all into. I think I've got it all. I will top my sink back up with hot water again to make sure that I hold the temperature. Sometimes I come across some that I've missed and I'll just break them. And we're going to let this rest now for another 20 minutes. Okay, I'm back over here. It's been 20 minutes. Now I'm going to pour off a massive amount of this whey until I can see the cheese. And then I'll be adding hot water to it and I will be breaking all those little clumps of curd down, halving their sizes again. So I'll go through and get this off. I have filled this up now with my hot tap water. My tap water is 90 degrees. If your tap water isn't that hot, I recommend boiling the kettle. I'm just going through now and making sure these are all broken up into nice little bits to let the whey out. It is starting to feel like cheese now. You can see there's one I missed. It's getting quite firm to the touch, but when I break it, the inside is really soft. That's still full of whey. So I'm just breaking any of those big ones up. It is wanting to ball together now though, like cheese, so It's going to make a nice batch of cheese, but I do want to do this for about 10, 15, 20 minutes just to make sure I've got any of those blobs that I missed. I need to break them up, which gets a bit hard when it starts to hold together like mine is. But I do need to just break them up a bit to let that weigh out. Now I'll let it rest for 10 minutes. Just allow the curds to sink to the bottom and the whey to come to the top. I'll strain all the whey off. All my whey goes out to the pigs. That little bit of water I added won't matter. So it'll all go out to the pigs. Nothing gets wasted. Strain all the whey off now, and we'll have the cheese and we'll salt it. Okay, this is my cheese. So I'm just going to break it up a little bit. It is all starting to want to get stringy like cheese. I put 5 or 6 teaspoons of salt in. We like salty cheese. You can brine your cheese, but I don't. So I just like mixing my salt through at this stage. But it does take a little bit to get it all broken up to get the salt through it. But I find this gets enough salt through it. Then I've got my mould here. I've got a tray to catch it away. Got my cheesecloth in my mould. And I literally just get my cheese and bring it over here, and I stuff my cheese mould full. Then the lids go on it. I put it in the cold room for 24 hours. Then it comes out and we air dry the cheese in our refrigerator. So I just stuff that full. I just wrap it back up in the cheesecloth, about so. And then I fill my other mould and the weight goes on there. The ones we've had in the fridge, just drying out. These ones will go out and get vacuum sealed. This one's only been in the fridge for 2 days, so it's still got to dry out. I normally leave them in the fridge, so the cold room for 12 to 24 hours with the weight on them. Then they come in, they get unwrapped, they get dried out in the refrigerator, uncovered. It just dries them out. These ones weren't pressed as hard as I like. One of the kids did these ones. This one's held together nice and hard, so it'll make a really nice grating cheese and slicing cheese. Then after 7 days in the fridge, they then get vacuum sealed, dated, and they stay in our cold room for a minimum of 3 months before we eat them.